Hello, everybody! Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, declare breaking news, culture, matic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. Oh, things are starting spicy this Monday. Fiat Times breaking news article. SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in everything except for Bitcoin, CEO Brian Armstrong says. I remember us doing a video about this. It was maybe like a month or two ago, and we literally said that the Coinbase stock might go to zero, and a lot of people got upset in the comments. The like and dislike ratio wasn't as high as it usually was. Maybe some people are holding Coinbase stock, but the reason that we came to that conclusion was based on wording and things and thoughts that Gary Gensler has set out publicly. And he's basically said that everything other than Bitcoin is a security. And then we went over Coinbase's numbers and we pointed out the fact that they make the majority of their fees from altcoins. They don't make it from Bitcoin. So clearly their whole business model would go under if the SEC got their way. Now, to be fair, they still need to go through a lawsuit. They still need to get a judge to sign on. We see Brian Armstrong in pictures in Washington, D.C. every other week. He obviously has a tremendous amount of influence. So it's not that simple. It's not like Coinbase is just going to disappear tomorrow. There's going to be a fight that obviously happens. Now, so the thing, and it's kind of weird because I do see some Bitcoiners, not all, like celebrating a little bit that oh, okay, this is a security, yes. But the thing is, I would prefer Bitcoin winning on the free market. Like that's what I would prefer, to be honest with you. I don't like, when the government kind of, the government intervenes and says, what is a security? What is not a security? Now, the other side of that argument is, there should be a level playing field because the traditional financial system, plays by a certain set of rules, and then the whole Bitcoin and crypto sector industry plays by a different set of rules, right? So, the argument is like, why shouldn't the crypto industry be held to the same standards as the financial industry? But the libertarian in me, the Bitcoiner in me, is kind of like, look, like, I think that there's always unintended consequences to government intervention, and I'm always skeptical of them. And perhaps that opinion might not be as popular with some people, because the reality is a lot of people do get hurt. A lot of people do get hurt by these pump and dump scams. Like the fact that Ethereum had a pre-mine, the fact that XRP had a pre-mine, right? And these are like large pre-mines, right? Like 80 to 60 to 80% of the total supply is still owned by like the original founders or foundation or whatnot. And then they just dump it on retail every Bitcoin cycle, right? So yeah, I'm divided on this ethically and morally. So let's see where this goes. I don't know, but we are here to cover it. Anyways, no more delay. I want to bring up our special guest today, Toma. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And of course, my legendary co-host, always optimistic, giant smile on his face. How you doing, Opti?
I'm doing good, man. It's Monday. We're back. What's up, everyone? It's your boys. We got another day and actually another week of putting in content. But yeah, interesting news. That was very, very interesting to wake up to this headline. As much as we are both anti-statist, the SEC is doing their job out here and you can't really blame them, right? So like, hey, wouldn't want to be holding shitcoins right now is all I'm saying. But this is why we're Bitcoin only. This is why we're simply Bitcoin, because that's the safest bet, and you want to protect yourself. And obviously we don't want to lean on government institutions to protect our bags. But hey, There are laws here, guys, and you can't just skirt around them by being a slimy shitcoiner anymore. So, hey, it is what it is. But I don't know. Let's get into the details, Nico. This is going to be good. Actually, Culture, for those that don't know, Thomas is part of Wiser, Bitcoin learning gamified app. But we'll get all into that today during the Culture, and we'll break it down for you guys, maybe get you guys excited to download it and be a part of that cool ecosystem. But get into this one, Nico.
Yeah, let's get into it. No more delay. All right, everybody, let's start the show. Let's do it.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stampseed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stampseed. All right, guys, also you can use the promo code SIMPLY, and you can scan the QR code on your screen right now, and it'll take you directly to the Stampseed website. Get yourself a titanium seed phrase storage kit. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to explain to your grandchildren why you lost your generational wealth because you stored your seed phrase on paper. Store it on titanium. Scan the QR code right now and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the Stampseed website. Anyways, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $29,235 sats per dollar, 3,421. Block height 800,001.92. Blocks to halving 38,908. Halving estimate April 20th, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity 4,704. Bitcoin capacity value 137 million. Realized monetary inflation 1.76%. The market capitalization of Bitcoin $568 billion with a B. Bitcoin versus gold market cap 4.32%. My favorite two stats out of all of that is the realized monetary inflation of 1.76% and the Bitcoin versus gold market cap of 4.32%. Anyways, moving on to this. This is crazy. We talk a lot about this concept of the Overton window, and it is slowly shifting. It is shifting towards Bitcoin's favor, this idea of self-custody, this idea of a non-state money. And, you know, all the benefits that come with it when you have the legacy corporate media not only talking about Bitcoin, but also defending Bitcoin. It is kind of a big deal, right? And as is the case right here, you have a CNBC anchor talking about the halving. Now, this is funny because all the change in tune and all these things, all the change in tune and all the kind of defense of Bitcoin and all that only happened after BlackRock announced, the Bitcoin spot ETF. So maybe one has to do with the other. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to play the video and then we'll talk about it. Let's check it out.
Today, we're going to zero in on crypto, which has outperformed even some of the most high-flying parts of the market this year. Mackenzie Sagalos joins us now with a look at the potential risk and rewards ahead for the sector. Mac, it is great to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Frank. So it's definitely a pivotal moment for the crypto sector. A crucial federal court ruling could stifle efforts by SEC Chairman Gary Gensler to wrangle what he calls the Wild West of trading. A judge in New York has cast doubt on whether the SEC has a clear path to regulate most altcoins as securities. That ruling largely viewed as a net win for altcoin traders who feared an imminent crackdown from regulators, as well as for Coinbase, which faces its own legal battle with the SEC. The top 100 digital assets are up 48% this year, compared to 17% for stocks and 9% for gold. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is outperforming the NASDAQ 100, as are crypto-pegged stocks like Coinbase, Galaxy Digital, and MicroStrategy. But Bitcoin can't seem to break out from the $30,000 price level. One reason being there isn't much investor interest. We're seeing some support from institutions, but there's no real catalyst to drive the price either higher or lower. Things that would normally affect Bitcoin, such as the Fed raising rates, are barely moving the needle. What the market appears to need is a return of confidence from retail and institutional investors. That could potentially happen if an ETF that directly tracks the spot price of Bitcoin is approved. Some of the biggest names in TradFi are racing to be the first to offer one, including BlackRock. Now, if spot ETFs get the green light, they could spur a buying spree as firms purchase Bitcoin to meet reserve requirements. We're also seeing movement on crypto legislation on Capitol Hill. And crucially, Frank, there is a technical event called the Halvening coming up next April, which typically marks the start of a bull run for Bitcoin.
All right, Mac, always great to have you here with your crypto expertise. Mackenzie Sagalos, thank you very much.
All right, first of all, I got to learn how to talk like that, man. That was like beautiful, like, you know, like daga 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 daga. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It was like that, like journalistic speak. It was so like Opti. We gotta.
She's a real professional.
Yeah, we gotta take speaking lessons, bro. Okay, that's number one. Number two, yeah, I mean, first of all, she's done an incredible job. She's covered amazing articles, which we've used on the show many times. But I mean, like, if you look at it historically speaking, generally the year before the halving, the first part of the year tends to go up, and then the last part of the year tends to go down. Basically, the entire time we start to crab sideways. So regardless of any outside forces, I think Bitcoin is doing what Bitcoin has historically done the year before the halving. Bitcoin tends to go parabolic about a year after the halving, 9 months after the halving. If historical patterns stick, that's generally what will happen, right? Regardless of whether there's a Bitcoin spot Bitcoin ETF or not. Now, I said the fact that, you know, the fact that they're covering this so much on CNBC possibly had to do with the BlackRock ETF. I love how she brought it up in it. She's like, yeah, the you know, this might cause the price to go up, and, you know, she brought it up by name. So, hey guys, there's no coincidences here. So I just got to say that. But anyways, it's just interesting how Bitcoin continues to get more and more coverage on the legacy corporate media. Now, what's going to be really weird for us, Opti, you know, especially people that, you know, we were covering Bitcoin before it was cool, right? Is watching these like legacy corporate journalists slowly become Bitcoiners. That's going to be really fucking weird. Even the whole even speaking about that concept might seem a little like strange and whatnot. But, you know, what if they start holding Bitcoin? What if this whole BlackRock thing does happen? What if BlackRock starts sponsoring CNBC? Like all these, you know, questions, right? And then you'll start to hear these legacy corporate media journalists start to bring up the same talking points that Bitcoin maxis have been using for the last couple of years. And I think that will be a very strange sight. But I think it will also be a testament to Bitcoin's irresistible incentives. And I think that's why it's being talked about on CNBC. That's why Michael Saylor is using it as an alternative to fiat current currency. That's why Nayib Bukele made Bitcoin legal tender. And I suspect that next halving, the next cycle, more countries are going to follow Nayib Bukele's footsteps, and more public companies are going to follow Michael Saylor's footsteps as well. So anyways, that's my take. What's your take, Opti? And then we'll move on to Toma.
Yeah, first off, Mackenzie's been doing a great job. You know, she is a part of the corporate press, so we won't hold it too hard against her, but she's been doing a good job of pushing that Bitcoin signal out there for the normie lands to follow along. And what the halving is like 270 days out, maybe a couple of days less, and you just love to see that it's being talked about on the corporate press. As a Bitcoiner, I think we've talked about this for years, and now the Overton window is shifting where Bitcoin signal is part of the everyday news, and you just love to see it. And I mean, look, like we are free market maxis, and we want to see Bitcoin win on the free market, but I don't think it is a coincidence that all the other shitcoins are getting wrecked right now. Like you wanna own something or save in something that was designed and rolled out in a way where it doesn't matter whether the government starts to attack it. And you know, it is interesting to see that ever since the BlackRock rollout or announcement the tone has changed in regards to Bitcoin. And obviously there's Bitcoin and there's shit coins, and you want to be saving in something that can't be stopped. And so it's just interesting to see the corporate press start to talk about Bitcoin in the way that we've been talking about it. Usually they're just talking about like Bitcoin obituaries and the prices, it's a bubble, it's tulips, and then it's died. And now they're like, wow, maybe this thing is sticking around. Maybe you want to get some just in case it catches on. So it does seem like the tune is changing. And I think moving into the halving and the post-pump halving, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It's going to be very interesting to see how everyone deals with the fact that Bitcoin won't go away.
Yeah, 100%. Toma, what's your take?
No, definitely. I mean, you saw a clear shift in narrative since the BlackRock spot ETF application. Even on the environmental side, there was this article from Forbes that talked about the renewable aspect of Bitcoin. So I think it's nice to see this. And at the end of the day, the way I see it is that BlackRock, they just assess their next action based on the feedback they get. And probably they got a lot of feedback from institutions wanting to get into Bitcoin. And for them, it's a question of making fees, and it's a financial decision for them. So that's positive, I would say, because if they do make this move, it means that they're confident that there's backing from institution and that and interest from there as well. So I'll take this as a positive sign overall.
Yeah, 100%. And I love how you brought up that article from Forbes and how the change in narrative is just so, it's so clear as day for anyone who's been paying attention. But I think it's also an example of, guys, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is the narrative trench warfare that we're talking about. The fact that they're able to change on a whim like that, before BlackRock, Bitcoin bad, after BlackRock, it's actually not boiling the oceans. It's actually saving sea turtles. Like, tells you everything you need to know about the integrity of the legacy corporate media machine. And and I think they're just paid propagandists, to be frank. And I think the last 2 or 3 years alone, I've really shown that. I think if you've buried your head in the sand and you haven't been paying attention, perhaps you have a different take. But the last, I think 2 years or so, if you've been watching any of the legacy corporate media channels, there's a lot of things that you're just kind of like, that isn't true. So anyways, but this is what the internet is for. It's empowering individuals to talk directly to each other, kind of circumventing the intermediaries or the gatekeepers of information. And it's allowing the truth to seep through regardless, right? So there is a happy ending to this. We just got to wake enough people up from the information matrix, from the fiat matrix, and really wake them up and like shake them up and be like, hey guys, it's not left versus right. It's not Republican versus Democrat. It's not red versus blue. It's green versus orange, the party of CBDCs, nihilism, poverty, and lack of hope. It's the party of green, and the party of hope and freedom, and Bitcoin is the party of orange. So anyways, we'll get to that point. But before we get there, guys, I want to tell you about the largest Bitcoin conference on the face of the earth, Bitcoin 2024. It's going to be in Nashville this year. It's not going to be in Miami. It's July 25th through the 27th. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. And the ticket prices right now, you have to get them quickly before the prices go up. For a GA, it's $349. For an industry pass, it's $849. For a whale pass, it's $4,749. And you could take advantage of promo code SIMPLY to get 10% off tickets to Bitcoin 2024. Definitely don't want to miss it. And of course, Opti and I are going to be there as well. All right, guys, let's get to the news. Let's do this.
The Daily News.
The Daily News is brought to you by Blockstream Jade, built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin. Check out the brand new limited edition color, the transparent green Jade. Blockstream Jade houses a full color camera, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions, scan and display QR codes directly on the device, assign transactions, and verify addresses with ease. Use your Blockstream Jade with your favorite wallet software, such as Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, Sparrow. Get yourself a Blockstream Jade today and take self-custody of your Bitcoin.
All right, I'm going to start off with this, all right, because we got a ton of crap for when we came out with this live stream. Killer Cyan, he says, nice clickbait title. And what was he referring to? He was referring to this title that we made 4 months ago. And the name of the title is Coinbase Gets SEC Notice Signaling Intent to Sue Over Crypto Offerings. And that was March 23rd, 2024. That was way before they actually sued them. And that was, we backed up our arguments with Gary Gensler's article. I think it was for the New Yorker, or some publication, where he literally said like everything other than Bitcoin is a security. And then he sends an intent to sue, and then he sues. And then this article came out from the Financial Times. So this title, it wasn't clickbait. Like literally we were telling you what will happen if the SEC gets its way. Remember, Coinbase's business model relies on shitcoin fees, right? Their whole business model relies on that. They've built a shitcoin casino business. They didn't build a Bitcoin fee related business, right? They didn't build that. They focused on shitcoins. They didn't focus on Bitcoin, right? But what I said in the very, very beginning, I'm a fan of Bitcoin winning in the free market and Bitcoin companies winning in the free market. I'm always suspicious of any type of government intervention. There is an argument to be said that, hey, okay, to be fair, the traditional financial system plays by a different set of rules than, the Bitcoin and crypto industry. Right? They should be held to the same rules, at least. But the skeptical libertarian Bitcoiner in me is kind of like, anytime I see the government do anything. But I understand, and I'm aware of my personal biases. That's just my opinion. Anyways, let's get to the news of today. Financial Times, SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in everything except Bitcoin. CEO says requests would have meant the, quote, the end of the crypto industry in the US, according to Brian Armstrong. So, I mean, there's a lot implied there, the end to the crypto industry in the US. And I think he is true. He is right. The Bitcoin industry would have survived. I think a lot of people commingle crypto with Bitcoin, a lot of normies, and I think a lot of regulators as well. And then not to mention the fact that inadvertently, a lot of these crypto casinos would have been pushed overseas. And we know what the CCP is doing, is using Hong Kong for. They're using Hong Kong as like this testing bed. Hong Kong is like with open arms, with approval from Beijing, of course, saying, hey, businesses, come over here. Gemini, come over here. Coinbase, come over here. We're, laissez-faire. We're going to have light regulation. And they're taking advantage of this regulatory crackdown in the US. Now, again, like the whole situation is kind of shitty, right? Because in one part, you're obviously like you're a Bitcoiner and you're like, look, like obviously these are securities, obviously these are shit coins, obviously there's a pre-mine, obviously the founders control it. But then there's the other part of you that's kind of like, do you really want these shitcoin casinos empowering the CCP? Do you really want them empowering, countries that are not the US? I'm kind of like, I don't know what to think about this, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion. Like the Bitcoiner in me is like, that's awesome, Bitcoin only. But, I kind of think about it and I'm kind of divided a little bit. I don't really know what to think about this, but anyways, we'll get to the news and then we'll get Opti's and then Toma's take. So the SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in all cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin prior to suing the exchange, in a sign of the agency's intent to assert regulatory authority over a broader slice of the market. Coinbase's chief executive officer, Brian Armstrong, told the Financial Times that the SEC made the recommendation before launching legal action against the NASDAQ-listed company last month for failing to register as a broker. The SEC case identified 13 mostly lightly traded cryptocurrencies on Coinbase's platforms as securities, asserting that by offering them to customers, the exchange fell under the regulator's remit. But the prior request for Coinbase to list delist every one of the more than 200 tokens it offers, with the exception of the flagship token Bitcoin, indicates that the SEC under Chair Gary Gensler has pushed for wider authority over the crypto industry. Quote, they came back to us and they said, we believe every asset other than Bitcoin is a security. And that's exactly what we told you 4 months ago when we made the title of that video. He literally said it in an article. He was like, I believe that everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Like, he literally said it. Like, shouldn't come as a surprise to you if you guys have been tuning into Simply Bitcoin, because he's been very vocal about this. Anyways, goes on to say, and we said, well, how are you coming to that conclusion? Because that's not our interpretation of the law. And they said, we're not going to explain it to you. You need to delist every asset other than Bitcoin. If Coinbase had agreed, that could have set a precedent that would have left the vast majority of the American crypto businesses operating outside the law unless they registered with the commission. Quote, we really didn't have a choice at that point. Delisting every asset other than Bitcoin, which by the way is not what the law says, would have essentially meant the end of the crypto industry in the US. He said it kind of made an easy choice. Let's go to court and find out what the court says. Oversight over the crypto industry has hitherto been a gray area, and this SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission jockeying for control. The CFTC sued the largest crypto exchange, Binance, in March of this year. 3 months before the SEC launched its own legal action against the company. Gensler has previously said he believes most cryptocurrencies, with the exception of Bitcoin, are securities. However, the recommendation to Coinbase signals that the SEC has adopted this interpretation in its attempt to regulate the industry. Either the second largest cryptocurrency, which is fundamental to many industry projects, was absent from the regulator's case against the exchange. It also did not feature in the list of 12 crypto asset securities specified in the SEC's lawsuit against Binance. The SEC said its enforcement division did not make formal requests for companies to delist crypto assets. Quote, in the course of an investigation, the staff may share its own views as to what conduct may raise questions for the commission under the securities laws. Stock, bonds, and other traditional financial instruments fall under the SEC's remit, but U.S. authorities remain locked in debate as to whether all or any crypto tokens should fall under its purview. Oversight by the SEC would bring far more stringent compliance standards. Crypto exchanges typically also provide custody services and borrow and lend to customers, a mix of practices that is not possible for SEC-related companies. Quote, there are a bunch of American companies who have built business models on the assumption that these crypto tokens aren't securities. If they're told otherwise, many of them will have to stop operations immediately. It's very difficult to see how there could be any public offerings or retail trading of tokens without some sort of intervention from Congress. The SEC declined to comment on the implications for the rest of the industry of a settlement involving Coinbase delisting every other token other than Bitcoin. So this is what I think happened. Right. So the SEC, in their official filing, they only focused on 12 lightly traded assets. And I believe the reason for that is because I don't think that they wanted to know. I don't think they wanted the public to know that if you're holding Ethereum, right, which is what Brian Armstrong is implying in this article, is like, look, if you're holding Ethereum or if you're holding anything other than Bitcoin, you know, your funds might be implicated in this. Like they don't want you trading that in the US. And I think that's why he went public about it. And I think that's why he told the Financial Times. I think this was like a political chess move, because I don't think that, you know, the vast majority of people in the US, I don't think that they agree. Like, I think that if it came out what Gary Gensler actually wanted to do, I don't know if he would have the public support to do that, to be honest with you. So I think Brian Armstrong went public and he said, look, like they're trying to kill crypto in the US, in the hopes that it would make noise, which is why he went to the Financial Times and which is why the SEC declined to comment to the Financial Times. Right. So I think he's trying to use this publicity as political leverage. I mean, that's my interpretation of it. But I don't know. I find it really interesting. I find the whole thing fascinating. Yeah. So obviously, you know, we're Bitcoiners and we believe everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Obviously, doesn't pass the Howey test. The founders still get to change. They get to change the monetary policy. They get to change the supply to benefit themselves, right? They own a large portion of that supply, of which they dump on the public. This is including Ethereum, by the way. When the price goes up, right? The Ethereum Foundation, XRP, Ripple, all those people. But I think that here's my take. I think that this industry is so well entrenched, and I think the SEC lawsuit against Ripple like really made it clear, like, look, like selling Ripple on exchanges is not a securities violation. Selling it to private investors is, but that kind of set a precedent in a way, right? I think that the SEC kind of sat on their hands for a very, very long time. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to get what they wanted, even though it's by the book, it's by the law, right? Like, we know these things are securities, but it's like whether it's Brian Armstrong, the Ethereum Foundation, the Ripple guys, like I think they've accumulated so much political influence that, like, I don't know if they're going to get their way. Like, I'm sure they've donated to the right candidates, the right politicians on the Democratic side and on the Republican side. Yeah, like I don't see where this is going.
Yeah,
but this is great entertainment, and it gives us something to talk about as Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners are just like that meme of that guy like on the sidelines, like smoking the bong while the two people are fighting. Like, it's great to watch, like when my Bitcoin's in cold storage and I'm just like watching this stuff like kind of play out. I would feel kind of insecure if I was holding shit coins in the US. And you know, you're one executive order away from not being able to trade these. Like, we know what the head of the SEC feels about them. Now, it doesn't mean that you know, they can't go through this process and become compliant, and then people are aware that they're trading securities on platforms like Coinbase. I just think that they want to avoid that altogether. So anyways, it's my 2 sats as a Bitcoiner that's been here for a little bit on the whole situation. Interesting how Brian Armstrong used the Financial Times as leverage to kind of get his thoughts out. It was kind of like a scare piece, Opti. I don't know. What do you think, bro? Like, he's trying to like freak people out.
Let Toma jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I think also that might give kind of the SEC some kind of leverage, because what we know is that most of the spot ETF application are using Coinbase as a custody service. So what, you know, the SEC might do is play both sides, saying if you want for us to pass those ETF, right, which have you as a custody, you're going to have to delist. Then it's going to put Coinbase in a situation where they're going to have to choose between fees on institutions buying Bitcoin versus fees on retail buying shitcoins. So I think at this stage, even on the financial aspect, it might be interesting for Coinbase to potentially accept that deal if it ever gets there. So I mean, yeah, I think that's my take, is that there are definitely things happening in the behind scenes that we're not privy to, and that might tilt the balance here. But I think also to get back to one of your points, I think what they're arguing, Brian Armstrong, is not that the initial sell of the token was not security. I think everyone agrees that the initial sell, especially to institution and through marketing initiatives, was a security. I think what they're trying to argue is that the token evolves to become, or to become a non-security. So I think it's kind of that's the argument they're trying to make. So it kind of takes out all the blame of the pre-sale, which in my opinion is tough. So
yeah, 100%.
We have to see where that goes.
100%. Opti, what's your take on this?
Yeah, well, first, Nico, you started with that old video that we did. I forget what you said 4 months ago, and we got a lot of shit for that one. But hey, I don't know. Maybe we're vindicated again, so it feels good.
Definitely vindicated. We're
feels
definitely
good.
Vindicated.
Love to see it. But yeah, you know, as a Bitcoiner, I would love for the Bitcoin industry, Bitcoin and even shitcoin industry to remain, you know, the Wild West. Gary Gensler keeps saying, like, oh, we got to regulate it because it's the Wild West of finance. And I would love for people to realize on the free market, the open market, that altcoins are a scam. But I'm also not naive. And of course, the SEC is going to try to crack down on these unregistered securities. You know, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So it's obviously that this was going to happen. And I think Bitcoiners have been saying this since literally the inception of Bitcoin, that this was going to happen, and it's happening. And then, you know, we get yelled at by the shitcoiners and they're calling us status. And it's like, guys, this is why you want to hold something that was designed in such a way to withstand this and further route around all this stuff. So I don't think that makes me a status. That's why I'm a Bitcoin only. This is why I hold Bitcoin. And look, if you haven't registered your security, like, it's going to fall under the SEC's purview. Like, these are the rules here in America. If you're based in America, there is certain rules here. And of course, I would like to see the playing field, the rules to be flat and everything treated equally. But they are doing their best to make exceptions of Bitcoin and shitcoin because, like we cover all the time, they're absolutely afraid of Bitcoin getting out of the gate and everyone starting to hold Bitcoin because that eliminates their power of the money printer. So, you know, I'm Bitcoin only. I don't really have to really care about this. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what this does for the market moving forward. And yeah, Nico, it's like what you said, you know, we're just a meme where it's like the dude hitting the bong, just like watching them fight each other. And it's like, hey, just, you should be holding Bitcoin. Like, hi guys, we're here. We'll show you the way. Just go Bitcoin only. It's so simple.
Yeah, 100%. Like, literally, it's nice just kind of like watching this play out on the sidelines. And is Gensler a Bitcoiner? Like, it's, you know, like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of strange.
He said that he never owned any, though, but that would be kind of odd.
It's kind of weird.
He never even made a transaction.
It's kind of weird. Like, it's like, yeah, everything else is a security. Bitcoin's dope, but everything else, like, I don't know. Is Garrett? I know Rustin feels a certain way about this. But anyways, just the whole thing is just very interesting to me. Anyways, guys, before we move on to the culture, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the Orange Pill app. There will be a time in the not too distant future where the most sought after demographic will be Bitcoiners. There you go. Let me scan the QR code, by the way. Principled, devoted, patient, diverse, and loyal individuals who are the wealthiest single demographic. It might be worthwhile to make as many Bitcoin connections as you can now while the getting is good. What's the best way to meet other Bitcoiners in real life? The Orange Pill app. The Orange Pill app is building the social layer for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin circular economy is coming, and this is where it starts, with in real life connections. Find other Bitcoiners who live close to you, find plebs while you're traveling, or find nearby Bitcoin events. Plus, Orange Pill app recently enabled Zaps. You can zap your friends or zap events to help with the cost to organize your next Bitcoin meetup. Scan the QR code below, and when you sign up, you'll get 10K in sats. And don't forget to stack friends who stack sats. And of course, Opti and I appreciate all the love and all the messages. If you want to reach Opti and I very quickly, download the Orange Pill app, send us a message, and we'll make sure to get back to you. So scan the QR code on your screen, download the Orange Pill app today. All right, everybody, no more delay. Let's jump straight into the culture. Let's do it.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, everybody, make sure to also get your tickets to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. It's coming up October 5th through the 6th. It's going to be in Los Angeles, California. You can use the promo code SIMPLY to get yourself a 21% discount. Speaker list includes Jimmy Song, Lynn Alden, Greg Foss, Alex Gladstein, Preston Pish, and many, many more. You don't want to miss the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in Los Angeles, California. Max and Stacy just announced that they're going as well. You don't want to miss this Bitcoin celebration. Anyways, Opti, what are we talking about today, brother?
Yes, sir. So we got Toma here from Wiser, and actually, I'll just give you the floor. Toma, what is Wiser, and what's the goal behind it?
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, Wiser solves the orange pilling problem. So the thing is that when you orange pill someone, the first thing you're trying to figure out is where do I send them? And online, there's a few problems that we solve. The first one is that if you send them online to any online resource, the content is all over the place. They get overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. So the first thing we do is we create a structure. We have different modules, different topics, and you unlock the different classes. The second one is that people have very short attention span these days, and whenever you send them material, they don't want to read it. They don't want to go through all those long videos or content blog articles. So what we do is we create bite-sized classes. So basically, you know, simplify concept and turn it into easy 3-minute visual read. And finally, what we do is we reward users. So we have a system where you learn to earn with Sats. Obviously, we don't have our own token. We don't do any of that. So we just reward people in Sats. And we added a bunch of gamification elements. So the idea here is really how to orange pill people. And we find that giving reward, ensuring that they know where to start, what to learn next, and then adding some social elements. So we also have leaderboards where people compete, and we have different other social initiatives through Telegram and stuff where we promote communication and engagement. So this is what we do in a nutshell.
Love it. So how has the orange pill journey been with Wiser? Have you had any success stories? What do you get pushback when you try to talk to your normie friends out there and get them on the app?
Yeah, I mean, the first problem is definitely the problem of Bitcoin versus crypto. Many people don't get that. And you know, when we spend our time in the Bitcoin community, we feel like everyone understands that. But actually, when you speak to normie, it's really hard for them to grasp this concept of what's the difference. So I think this is the main challenge that we face right now when I speak to normies. And then it's finding the right content for them to read or to learn. Because as I said earlier, people have very short attention span. So what we're trying to target is not the people that are initially interested in Bitcoin and that are willing to do the research and spend hours reading. We're targeting more people that spend their time on social media scrolling, and those are the kind of people that we want to onboard. Onboard them through very easy, on-the-go classes with small rewards.
Love it. Okay, so what's the end goal for Wiser? Are you guys rolling out some new features? Actually, how long have you guys been around? Because you just came up on my radar a couple of weeks ago. So how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been developing for a year now, and we launched the public version roughly 2 months ago. So it's going well right now. We're getting very good feedback from our user. We also have a little merch shop with a bunch of, I actually am wearing one of the t-shirts. So yeah, this is just to support the mission of free education. So yeah, so it's going well, still early on. We're adding content as we go forward. We're going to be adding languages. Spanish has been requested a lot, and we're going to be adding advanced education, advanced topics that will help people as they go forward. So it's really trying to figure out what's the best route to orange pill people and then drive them towards something where they can make an impact, whether by working in the Bitcoin industry or connecting and orange pilling themselves, other people.
Love it. Absolutely love it. What is the final end goal? Is it going to be, bite-sized palatable information throughout the whole time, or will they ever get longer form programs out there, get more intricate studies? I think you kind of said that you are going to get a little more advanced learning in there. Exactly. But what's the end goal?
Yeah, the end goal is just to provide a platform that can provide free education around the most important topics, which are basically Bitcoin and money. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin and money, because people need to understand how the monetary system works to be able to empower themselves. So this is really what we're trying to bring together, is understanding of Bitcoin, but also understanding of economics. So we teach economics, Austrian economics, some concept about the financial market. So our idea, the main objective is to build that platform, which gives anyone across the world free access to this knowledge base and help them get empowered financially. And then hopefully, we're a business, so we need to make some profit as well. Otherwise, we can't grow. So we also have advanced feature that are behind paywall with pledges that allows us to monetize and keep growing this initiative.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, one more question. What's up with this? Your merch store? You guys got some fire merch. I was checking it out this morning. Let's plug this a little bit. What's the goal? You said it yourself. You know, it's hard to bootstrap your business, and I see some cool stuff on here, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exactly. We're bootstrapped, so we're 5 co-founders putting work and time behind this. So we're full time looking to fundraise. So in the meantime, we need to get some monetization. We think that pushing, because this kind of it kills 2 birds in 1 stone, right? We monetize a bit, but at the same time, it helps orange pill people, because when they see you walk around with those fun Bitcoin t-shirts, it always gets the conversation going. I know I get a lot of people asking me questions when I wear those around, especially that one.
Yeah, I love it. There's some cool designs here. All right. So for everyone listening out there, what would be a call of action? What do you want them to do? What do you think is the best way to continue to orange pill?
It's very simple. Just go on the website, download the app, and you'll have fun. You'll learn a bit. And then whenever you want to orange pill someone and they ask you, okay, I'm interested, how do I learn more? Just send them to the app, because we give them free sats. So as they sign up, we give them sats. There's referral where they win sats across the entire process of learning. They'll earn sats. So that will not just teach them about Bitcoin, but also onboard them to Lightning, because we pay the reward on Lightning wallet. So they'll learn how to use a Lightning wallet. Ultimately, that would lead to how to use Bitcoin on chain. And then ultimately you'll get the ball rolling, give them some sats to play with. And yeah, hopefully that gets the ball rolling.
Love it. All right, well, guys, for the audio listeners, it is on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store. So I think actually before we go off into the memes, you just told me that you guys revealed or just dropped a new upgrade or some new features yesterday or this week. What was that?
Yeah, so we did a little upgrade. We added we added news bites. So those are weekly news where we tackle, the most relevant news of the week, and we try to explain it in the same process that is simple. So it's kind of like a more efficient way of getting your information for the week on a specific topic. So last week we discussed the BlackRock ETF. We discussed the WorldCoin as well process. So it's just a quick way to get up to date with the most relevant information. And we're going to be adding a place where you can gift a pledge. So basically, if you want to orange pill people, you can give them a subscription where they have additional benefits. So just check out the app and you'll see everything you need to get started.
Love it. All right, guys. So if you're in audio, download Wiser. It's what? YZER. Go to wiser.io. Yes. And maybe this isn't for everyone watching the show because they're probably already Bitcoiners. Maybe this is to send to your friends and family so that once they start going down the rabbit hole, get them interested in Bitcoin. And there's a financial incentive as well.
I love the merch. There's some really fucking cool designs that you got there with the girl with the gun, and like it kind of shows the little bullets and stuff. That's really, really cool. But yeah, man, that's dope. All the power to you. Why don't you tell everybody what's the domain
you can do with AI these days?
Where's the domain? Do you guys have a Twitter handle? Where could people find you?
Yeah, so Twitter, it's get_wiser. And wiser.io, YZER is the best place. You'll get all the links.
Gotcha. Very, very cool, man. Well, all the power to you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you fighting in the trenches with us and trying to get as many people orange pilled as possible. All right, everybody, let's get to the memes. Before we get to the memes, guys, you don't want to be trusting other people with your financial privacy. Remember, if you don't run your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Reclaim ownership over your money. If you're not using your Bitcoin node, you're using someone else's. Get yourself your own Bitcoin node. It enables you to connect with both the Bitcoin and Lightning networks. Your Nodl acts as a backend to the most popular Bitcoin and Lightning applications you want to run. Running a personal Bitcoin node is the greatest addition you can make to your financial privacy. This is the Nodl Dojo. It's in red, and yes, that means it's absolutely faster. Run your own wallet backend with Samurai Dojo and enjoy state-of-the-art coin joining with the Samurai Whirlpool, both straight out of your Nodl hardware. So visit nodl.eu today and stop trusting someone else with their Bitcoin node run your own. All right, everybody, no more delay. Best part of the show, the meme review. Let's do it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboom Racks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboom Racks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboom Racks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboom Racks.
Kaboom Racks. Kaboom Racks.
All right, guys, you already know the deal. This is the meme review where you tag us in memes on Twitter at simplybitcointv or drop them in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcoin, and I will scroll through them and I will add them to the show. I may not get to all of them, guys, but I do my best. Anyways, you already know the deal. Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. We are in an information war. Continue to spread the signal. Continue to try to orange pill your friends and family. Continue to ridicule the corporate press. This is the way. Anyways, first meme is by my boy Weinicus. He's always asking whether this is the meme review. Well, you're here, bro. We got you. Anyways, this meme here is what people think being a Bitcoiner is like, and they got this anonymous hacker picture, but what it's actually like. And we got some Giga Chads and, you know, Michael Saylor Chad, and we got Greg Zage and Pierre Rochard and a Pepe Laser Eye and, you know, Divine God Money, and of course, an anonymous hacker, because it's all of this. This is all of it. Okay, this next meme is by Beaver Bitcoin on Twitter, and he goes, yes. And we got some quotes here. And the first one is, can you explain this gap in your resume? And we got the chat. Oh, this is a therapist meme. All right. Got Chad Bitcoiner right here. It goes, yeah, that's when I was posting Bitcoin memes to accelerate the destruction of the deep state and reawaken humanity to sound monetary policy. Sorry, not sorry. This next meme, shouts out to my boy Copernicus. He goes, simply Bitcoin. This is me at my most PG. And it looks like this is Southwest, or no, American Airlines. I forget. It's on a airline, and it goes, "Are you a terrorist? Yes or no?" And you can see here it goes, "Me contemplating if they mean a financial terrorist or not." Wait, which one is it? You're a Bitcoin psychopath. This is the way. Okay, this next meme is by Maxie's Club, and it goes 473. And we got a Bitcoiner here, and he's looking for a girlfriend. He's on a date on the bench, and she goes, "So tell me about yourself." And the Bitcoiner goes, "I'm not rich, but," and then she walks away and leaves him. "But I have Bitcoin. I'm not broke. It's just the way my bank's set up. I can't really get to my money." Okay, this next one is by the therapist. I guess he's in here twice. I didn't realize the Beaver was a therapist meme, but he's just killing it. And we got the bull market is coming, hashtag BTC. And this is a play on the strong man, weak man meme. But we got bear markets create strong men create green candles create crypto scammers, and crypto scammers create bear markets. This is the cycle. All right, this next meme is by the Having Party MF, and it goes, "The bear market may feel like it's dragging on, but the Bitcoin halving is coming soon." And we have Tom Hanks in the Outcast, or what's it? Is it Outcast? Yeah, an Outcast, and it goes, 627 days since Bitcoin all-time high. It's everyone just counting down the Bitcoin bear market because it's been so long and we're all wrecked and we're getting bear market fatigue. Anyways, this last meme is by HODLCat21, and it goes, "Cats can confirm." And we got a cat sleeping nicely, and it hears an earthquake, or feels an earthquake, and it doesn't wake up. And then there's some concerns about World War III, and it doesn't move. It doesn't get out of bed. And then a tsunami coming, and it's unfazed. And then there's the Bitcoin dip, and the cat wakes up and wonders what is going on, because that's the only thing that matters, is stacking them sats. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat over there. Oh, it's Castaway. Sorry, Castaway. I butchered it. I'm literally forgetting all my movies. Okay. For my meme review score, it looks like I'm lagging over here, Nico. My bad. For my meme review score,
Unacceptable.
I need a new computer. I have this lemongrass and citrus soap for my bathroom.
Very, very, very. That probably smells delicious. I'm gonna give it the back of the Nodal 1. I know I've given the back of the Nodal Dojo, but I've never given the back of the Nodal 1. So, yeah, my score. Anyways, Toma, what would you give those memes?
I'll give a little cap. Why is it cap?
Very good score. Very good score. Anyways, guys, drop your scores in the live chat, and we will get to it. Seems like we got a couple coming in. First, McLovin. Meme score: in the future, Bitcoin comes common and obscure. All Bitcoin shows become relevant.
Yes. Simply TV rebranding soon.
We've been thinking about that. Probably going to rebrand. All right. UTXO. My meme review score is Opti's bitrate.
Hold on. I got something.
Oh, man.
Wait, where'd it go?
All right, Rave Elevator. I score the memes. Me telling Christopher Lloyd, aka Dr. Brown, about Bitcoin over the weekend at GalaxyCon. Let's fucking go. All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
let's go.
Cool. That's fucking dope, dude. That's awesome. Think Orange. I give those memes Jamie Dimon searching for pet rocks in a dusty bowl stampede. Okay. Last but not least, Elaine. Bitcoiners get smart and avoid the orange diggers. All right. We got the buzzer. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, we got Narwhal Tacos. Let's not forget about Narwhal. Meme score, a For the Kids t-shirt, and Infopocalypse. I give the memes Brian Armstrong's tears. Very, very nice. We're out of time this time. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us on Simply Bitcoin Live. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. If you feel like we provided you value, consider subscribing. But the number one thing you can do to help push the show is share this content. In fact, share all Bitcoin content. I want to give a very special shout out to Toma. Toma, thank you so much for joining us on Simply Bitcoin today. Appreciate you. Why don't you tell everybody one more time where they can find what you're working on these days?
Wiser.io, YZER.io.
Awesome.
Go orange pill the world.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. And I'm really happy that you're on our side. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. We will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, y'all.